What's going on YouTube? It's your Dessa. Today I'm back with another banger. So today, y'all, I'm going to be reacting to 3 animated true horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. And I haven't seen this video at all yet. I was on YouTube in my mom's room looking for animated stories to react to, and I saw this, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna react to Mr. Nightmare. I didn't think he had animated stories, but whatever. We're gonna be reacting to him, so oh my god, y'all. Screen recording in 3, 2, oh, never mind. I gotta add quarantine story.
I've been staying in my apartment in Jersey City during this coronavirus epidemic. My roommate has since gone home to Ohio to stay with her family during all of this.
Okay,
so I've been
Ohio.
in the apartment alone.
Alone?
Mostly just watching new movies and shows. I try not to go out
movies
too
and
much
shows,
because my city is pretty bad right now.
Yeah, pretty bad. Ohio,
A couple
yeah.
days ago, I was running extremely low on food, so I had to make a mandatory grocery run.
Are you dumb? It's
I went
Corona
to the nearby
time.
Trader Joe's wearing a mask and gloves, which,
Alright.
including the insane line and limited stock, turned out to be a production.
Okay.
On my walk home in the dark, I realized the streets were even quieter than they were the last.
Walk home in the dark.
Just a week before. Suddenly, out from an alleyway, some guy wearing a mask and gloves approached me. He had a baby wrapped in a hoodie and small blanket in his hands.
Oh my
he
god.
seemed very sincere and asking me to let him take his son to my apartment real quick. So
Don't
I could
do
change
it,
his
don't do
diaper
it.
And feed him his food.
He gonna trick you.
He swore to me that he was clean and that he really needed this favor for just 5 minutes.
Don't trust
That it was an
nobody.
emergency. Hearing the baby's little cries, and the fact that this man even had a child with him and just seemed sincere, the soft part of me agreed.
You too
I led
friendly.
him to my apartment building. It was only a short walk from there.
A short walk.
We walked up the 3 stories to my apartment, and I let him inside, asking him to
You
close
dumb?
the door behind him. I cleared a spot on the living room table for him to change his child's diaper.
Why your
and
house
whatever.
dirty?
When I turned around, the man was like pacing around. More like
Time for him to go,
Superman,
time for him
I
to go.
guess. He went into my kitchen to do God knows what. I called over to him that I set up the table for him to use. He didn't answer.
Call the police. Time to
I
go.
started
Call the
getting
police.
confused. I walked to the kitchen.
You walked to
I
the
saw
kitchen.
him looking around suspiciously. And what else I saw confused me. The man was standing with what I thought was his child, held in only one hand. It
One
took me a second
hand?
to understand. It wasn't a child.
It's a
It was
fake
just some
baby.
baby doll wrapped up in a blanket. I'm assuming one of those realistic ones that make the crying and moaning noises. The man looked at me, pulled out a gun from his right pocket.
Run,
That's where things
run.
went from 1
Put
to
your hands up.
100 real quick. He looked at me with a gun aimed at me and said
Gun
something
aimed
along
at
the
you.
lines of, "I'm gonna take
You
what I
finna
want,
die."
and you're gonna stay in my sight." Of course,
What
I
you
had
do?
to say okay with a gun aimed at my head.
Alright.
I wondered if it could be a BB gun with a tip painted black. But
Don't
even
trust
if
it.
it was, I doubted I could overpower him. I couldn't risk it.
Don't risk it.
The man pulled out a big black bag from
A
his
big
backpack
black
and
bag?
filled it with valuables, including my wallet, some of my roommates'
Hold up. He said valuables. This man took a tomato jar. A freaking tomato jar. What it look like? Something in a green bag. Come on now. Do better.
my roommate's jewelry, kitchen valuables,
Coffee.
my brother's Xbox, which he lent me, and
Okay,
my iPad.
that's valuable.
It was sickening to watch, but I was the most scared of him pulling the trigger.
Why didn't you run up behind, man? This guy's stupid.
That gun. He filled his bag and threw the fake baby in it as well. Then he left. I called the cops first thing. They came and helped me in contacting the building owner to see the CCTV footage from the halls. Of course, upon seeing the footage, it didn't help much.
Huh?
The man's face
I
was
mean,
covered
sorry.
by a mask, making it near impossible to even discover who he was.
Duh, those people look
All
at
I
his
can do is
hairline.
urge everyone to be careful, not to trust anyone, and stay indoors
Encourage
until all
them.
this is over.
Yeah. That's it. That's the first story, y'all. Standard.
Before I go into this video, I want to show you guys this
I'm
app
on
I've
ad.
been using called
I'm on an ad,
Vid.
y'all.
Right.
Stranded story. Next story. Story
I
number
was
2.
taking a road trip in my Mustang from
A
Texas
road trip?
to Arizona to visit my brothers.
Arizona.
I usually keep emergency supplies in the trunk, such as water and tools. I was taking, I guess, what you would call a scenic back route.
Why
Because I
do you
like
look like
flying
that?
at high speed with the top down without worry of other cars or police.
Top
This
down.
was one of
Why
those
the top? Why the
completely
top up
deserted
then?
seeming roads with one lane on either side and nothing but desert sand, cacti, and shrubs as
Desert
far as the eye
sand?
can see. I was flying down this road when the car
Flying?
started to emit these concerning popping noises from under the hood, and the car
Popping?
started to jolt or jump
Joe,
slightly.
the jump.
I put a heavy foot on the brakes to bring the car from a speeding 90 miles per hour to a less than gradual halt. I got out from the car, popping the hood,
Don't get out.
pretending as if I'd even know what to expect or how I'd go about fixing it.
Come on
There was
now.
no
keep
smoke,
better.
nothing like that.
No
I
smoke.
didn't have a clue what could be the problem.
A clue?
I got back in my car to try and start it, and as I feared,
Tried
the
to-
damn thing wouldn't even
Aw,
start back
man.
up now.
Right, screw it
The
up.
car was an '01 Ford Mustang, so yeah,
Ooh,
it
that's
was an old
old.
car with a share of problems.
Chair problems.
Naturally, I tried to call my roadside service company, but
You
that
tried?
became worse, realizing I didn't have any
No
service
network.
this far out in the desert.
Duh.
I was more or less stranded. I hadn't seen a single other car pass me that whole hour I was driving on
Whole
that road,
hour.
and I was scared to think how long it would take for someone to pass.
30 minutes.
I waited on the side of the road, sitting on my car's trunk for literally hours, sweating my ass off. My spirits rose when I saw the shine of a car reflecting the sunlight speeding down the road in the horizon.
Don't trust them.
I hopped off my trunk and started walking and waving my arms out for help.
Why you waving it like
But the car
that?
didn't stop. It zoomed past me.
Oh,
Pure
man.
evil. I didn't know how somebody could leave another human being stranded like that.
Pure evil.
Nightfall came and the hunger was setting in. No cars had passed since the first, and I was trying to fill
Put a
my
thumb
stomach
up.
with the water bottles I had in my trunk. Eventually, I saw headlights approaching. I had my car's hazards on, but I also waved my arms once more.
Wave them.
The truck pulled to the side, and a fairly
Truck?
large man stepped out.
Well, it's belly
I
like
told
that.
him my car broke down and asked if he knew anything about cars. But he didn't immediately seem interested in my car. He
Right.
more so seemed interested in asking me if I was alone, where I was going,
Right.
and why I didn't just call for help.
It
And
was
he asked me
suspicious.
if anyone knew I was here. These
It's time to
questions
go.
were certainly making me uncomfortable.
It's time to go.
He finally offered me a ride. Though if he
Don't
was
go.
trying to make a point of making me uncomfortable, he accomplished that.
He
I
accomplished it.
stepped up into his pickup truck, and off we started driving.
You should have went in the
He
back.
said it would be a long while before either of us would have phone service.
A long
He started
while.
asking me more questions, like why I would decide to take a back route like this. Minutes
Don't
in, the
answer.
truck started to slow down, and I heard him mutter, "Ah, shit." He pulled onto the sand on the side of the road, looked at me, and said the piece of crap broke down.
Piece of crap broke
This couldn't be
down.
happening. I looked back at the man and realized he was still looking at me.
Looking
Five
at you.
seconds went by and he was just still staring at me.
Staring.
He finally asked me to go lift up the hood once he would crank the latch.
He better
I can
get
only
out too.
describe this whole situation so well, but through everything up until this point, I was insanely suspicious. I went in front of his truck with a
Why
bit
your
of
butt
distance
crouched in
between the
like that?
front and I, and waited to hear a click, meaning
Oh, you
the
wanna
truck's
die.
hood was unlatched. In my head, I was picturing him trying to run me over, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh,
As I
move.
took one step towards the truck to try and open the hood, I heard the roar of the engine as the man was on the gas. I dove for my life. If I reacted half a second later, I'd have lost my legs or instantly been
Why
killed.
are you running like that?
I took off running into the pitch black night, looking back to see the taillights still there. And then this.
Ooh.
Gunshots. Surely gunshots aimed at me.
I've been shooting at you
That man
too.
was trying to
You
kill
want to
me.
die.
It was too dark out there for him to possibly
Run.
shoot me dead without some kind of luck.
I run with you.
But I thought I was going
Wait,
to
does
die
it run
at
like
any
this?
moment. I heard a truck
Not like
speeding
this.
off in the distance. So I turned and saw the taillights of the truck slowly disappearing down the empty road.
Don't trust it.
I eventually fell asleep on the side of the road, and the nightmare didn't end
Side.
until early
Why your arm
morning.
on the road? You can get
when I
ran
woke
over.
up to another pickup truck passing by.
Another.
I
Don't
waved
trust
them
it,
down,
man.
covered in dirt and sand. And thank God
That's
this
the
man
woman
was
too.
actually normal. He and his wife. They gave me water and drove me to the nearest town.
Thank
I was
God.
able to call the towing company.
Your shoes long as
It was a
hell.
45-minute drive back to my car on that goddamned road. Then
For real?
that same distance back to bring it into a shop.
Okay.
Long
Ready your
story
car.
short, this was the worst trip and experience of my life.
Nasty behind eyebrow.
Having someone try to run you over and then
Low
shoot
behind
at
jawline.
you isn't something you simply get over.
Cross-eyed behind eyes. Nasty behind ears. For real? Oh, that story over with. Story number 3.
Hey guys, guess what?
Sesame Street.
Let's check it out.
Street. Not Sesame Street?
When I was 19.
19?
My friend Sean, who was a big goofball, came over to chill in our basement as he often would during the summer. I remember he had a Coke bottle in his hand,
A Coke
and I was
bottle?
eating Wendy's. When he said
Wendy's?
we should check out that creepy
Soggy
little
old
cemetery
burger?
across town.
Soggy old burgers?
It was the most random idea ever, and I even told him that. Still, we had no school the next day, and I knew exactly which cemetery he was talking about.
Cemetery?
I don't know if one should even call it a
Don't go
regular
there.
cemetery.
The dead
It's
people
just
there.
a small plot of land with
disrespectful.
maybe 100 tombstones at most.
No.
The tombstone's very archaic looking. And
Archaic?
anytime we'd pass, there would be no signs of anyone having come to visit
No
within
signs.
the last decade.
Visits?
The site probably dated back centuries.
I miss my
and
dad.
It had this super creepy vibe to it because it
Vibe?
was closed
Creepy?
off by a gothic metal fence.
Don't go.
And it was surrounded by woods on two sides,
No.
the road on one, and some old abandoned building on the other.
Abandoned building.
Everything about it just gave scary vibes.
Don't go.
It took a little persuading, but Sean managed to get me to want to check it out too.
You look gay.
Ironically, it was a very cloudy, reddish kind of day.
And that's behind
I
cars.
guess conveniently adding to the mood.
The cloud's
Sean
great.
pulled up his Honda to the side of the road.
Honda.
I told him to pull up more so it wasn't obvious.
Obvious.
This was a low traffic road, so it would look kind of suspicious.
Why y'all both look like that?
He pulled up a few hundred feet down the road. And we
100?
got out and cut through the woods so that any potential passing
Cut through the
traffic wouldn't
woods?
see us entering the little cemetery.
No.
Hopping the fence in the woods was
It's always
easy.
white people.
It was maybe a 3 or 4 foot fence.
Hmm?
Sean kind of took the lead
Camera
on this
like
since
that.
it was mainly his venture.
Okay.
He led us through the eerie little plot of land.
Eerie.
We looked at the archaic tombstones.
Arcade.
They all seemed to be from the 19th century.
19th
The writing on
century.
some of them was illegible at that point.
Why you standing like that?
I know it sounds super dumb and
Small iron
cliche,
shoes.
but I couldn't help but feel like
Look
I
like
was being
avocado,
watched
avocado.
constantly.
Ugly behind.
I started looking around the surrounding woods. I
Why?
told Sean how creepy this was.
What y'all looking for?
I know, he replied. Still, with the feeling of being watched, I looked at the abandoned building next to the cemetery, at one of the windows. For a brief moment, I knew I saw someone standing at the window,
Run!
looking through the fog, smudge, and dirt on the glass. But they casually either ducked or walked away from the window.
Run, run, run.
I told Sean we were being watched by someone in that building, and he turned to look at it as well. Then he went to
Don't
look for the
point.
entrance to
Making
it.
it obvious.
I
And
told
that's
him
behind
don't.
eyebrows.
I said we should just leave before we get in trouble.
Thank you, avocado.
I stayed still by the tombstone he was
Billy!
looking at while he walked around the building.
Billy,
And
don't.
he found a way in. He called me over, but I
Avocado,
stayed
don't
put.
go.
Then I heard some loud kind of crack.
Avocado.
So I looked in that direction.
Huh?
There was this older man, probably around 55.
Ew.
Gray hair, had on a black raincoat.
ugly.
I believe he was wearing jeans, and he had a mustache. But
Ugh.
that's all I really got of him. Then he opened
white.
his mouth and screamed. Not just
Screamed?
yelled. He screamed, "Get out."
Get out.
He screamed it so
Listen
loud,
to him.
I thought I saw birds fly away from being startled.
Go.
Just
Don't
like
get
that,
dizzy.
I started to feel lightheaded, and suddenly everything
Avocado.
went dark.
No. Why
The
you
next thing I
die?
remember was waking up
Passed
to being
out.
dragged in the woods.
Dragged.
I freaked out, thinking I was being kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
But when I turned and got up, I saw it was
Billy!
just Sean. Sean was freaking out about something.
Oh, Sean.
He told me to follow him and run back to the car, so I
Run.
didn't ask questions. As we ran through the woods, I heard something close behind me, and when I turned, I realized we were being followed by someone.
Oh.
So I ran even
Ew,
faster.
why you acting like a zombie?
He got to his
Go!
Honda, and he basically put it in drive before the car even had a chance to fully start. When Sean was inside that abandoned building, he found a sigil of Baphomet painted on the wood floor, which is basically the sign of Satan. Around it were a bunch of freaky dolls with buttons for eyes.
Sean, why
He
you
didn't
just
get to
standing
see
there?
anything else in the building because he heard the old man scream at me outside. He came running to find me passed out on the floor, and he saw the old man slowly walking over to me.
Oh,
He started to drag me away from the old man and into the woods. He actually literally picked me up and threw me over the fence to get me out.
huh?
I quickly came back to consciousness, and that's when
Ew.
we ran.
Them bugs.
I had only fainted one time in my life, and it was at that
Fainted.
moment. I don't know why I fainted, but it happening at a graveyard with some kind of satanic ritual building right next to it
For real?
makes it that much stranger.
Oh my god. Alright, you guys, that's it. Billy was dumb, avocado was dumb. But if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Instagram and social medias all down below. Go add me on Snapchat, about to hit 200 people on there, 400, I don't know. Get me to 1K on my Instagram right now. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day. Stay quarantined. Don't be like Billy and Avocado. Bye.